everyone, and welcome to another episode of The New Norm with Selena Hill on Black Enterprise. I'm your host, Selena Hill, and on today's episode, which is sponsored by Cadillac, I have the pleasure of speaking with Morgan DeBaun, the founder and CEO of Blavity, a venture-backed technology and news company that empowers Black millennials to tell their own stories. As a leader in Black media, Blavity reaches over 250 million millennials per month through its growing brand portfolio that includes Afrotech, Travel Noir, Shadow and Act, and the Blavity Culture Ad Network. Morgan, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Selena.
Of course. So before we talk about your new partnership with Sharpie, I want to congratulate and acknowledge you. You're part of the 2% of women receiving venture funding in Silicon Valley. What has been the toughest part about navigating the venture capital space as a Black woman?
Venture capital as an industry, it's really a tough industry. It's very competitive and it ebbs and flows with the public market. So, in environments like the ones today, it can be really challenging. I think my tips for people who are considering venture funding and if that's the right path for them is to find your tribe. It is a very lonely experience, especially as a woman and a person of color. So, find like female founder groups and Black female founder groups that you can be a part of. And then, two, really make sure you understand your vision and your mission and how the industry of venture capital works. Because when I first started, I didn't totally understand all of the vocabulary. I knew I had a good idea. I knew that I wanted this to be big business, but I wasn't exactly sure how to put it in the format that other people could understand my ideas. And so, it took me a couple of years to be able to speak the speak so that I could get to the ultimate check and get the investment. But, for the most part, I think keeping the really good people around you and then having the right tools from vocabulary to the network will help you advance when you're raising money.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. I do want to jump into your partnership with Sharpie, which is a really big deal. Can you tell us more about the partnership and when and why you decided to partner with the company?
Yeah, it's so exciting. I rarely partner with brands, and the Sharpie team reached out about one of their new products, the Sharpie S Gel, which is actually the pen that I love and use. When I was first starting the company, I had a giant whiteboard and I was writing out all my ideas. I mean, being able to like manually write things out has been so helpful in my career. And it's something that I encourage all of my employees as they're advancing in their career to write out their ideas, write out their tips, for themselves, write out affirmations, put it on their mirrors. And I think that, even though we're in a digital world, that manual writing things out because it will help you with self empowerment. And I really liked the message that the Sharpie team was bringing to the table, and particularly this specific tool, the Sharpie S Gel pen, because it helped me say, yeah, like this is something I use every single day. I have my moleskin, I've got my Sharpie S Gel, and I'm just jotting down all the things that need to get done.
That's amazing. So it sounds like it's pretty organic since you already were using the product. I think a lot of us can relate to that. I've been using Sharpie since forever.
Forever.
And
Like
like,
literally.
oh yeah, I mean, people don't usually write things down anymore, but I'm a writer, so I actually like to write things down and highlight and underline and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So, why would you say it was important for you to actually partner with the brand?
Well, I wanted to get more of my message out there and talk to more professionals, not just entrepreneurs, about how they can accomplish their dreams and really embodying this whole vision and mission that the world is your canvas, right? And it's really your responsibility to say, this is what I want, and this is who I want to be, and this is how I want to make an impact to my community. Sharpie has an incredible reach. I mean, their brand is so well known all around the world. And so for me, it's a faster way to get that message out there that people can be proactive, people can take initiative, identify what they want to do. And as long as they have the right tools and the right people around them, they should be able to accomplish their dreams.
I mean, I love what you just said about that. And I also think when it comes to accomplishing your dreams, making impact, like you just said, there's something about writing things out on paper. Like, obviously, we live in a text first world where people don't even call, they text. We're constantly, typing on the computer. But,
Right.
for me, and maybe you can relate, when I see something on pen and paper, it just materializes. Like, it feels more real. And especially when it comes to those who are career driven and success oriented. Like, how does that sound or resonate with you?
Yeah, so at my company, we're fully remote. So we have a lot of retreats, company retreats, executive retreats. And the first thing I always have people do when they sit in the room, we've got our stickies, you've got your pens and the whiteboard, always a whiteboard. And we're writing down what we want to do. How did we do? We're printing out things and actually taking notes on paper. That process, I think, is really important for people to um, be creative and actually like let themselves dream a little bit, you know? So it's a habit that we've had since the beginning of even when it was just me and my co-founders. We would meet every 6 months and write down our goals. How did we do? What's our vision for the next 6 months? And I think that ultimately, when you have a group of people and they're collaborating together and you're building something from scratch. I mean, you're being ambitious. You're building something that like other people might say you can't do, or maybe it's gonna be difficult, or I don't know, this seems like a bit of a dream up in the sky. Making sure that you're actually writing things down and being tangible with your ideas, your concepts, and then surrounding yourselves with inspiration and listening to one another is, to me, is the best way to collaborate and really bring your vision to life.
Agreed. I could not agree more. And speaking of bringing your vision to life, you're actually bringing your journey to life with the new podcast you launched. I told you offline that I started listening to it. It sounds amazing. The Journey with Morgan DeBaun. Can you tell us more about the podcast and why you decided to launch it?
Yeah. I really enjoy mentoring and advising people. Like I just have so much fun hearing what people want to do in life and helping them figure out how they can get there. Um, I also feel like building in public, I've always tried to, even when I had 5 followers, talk about what was going on in my day and the challenges that I was having. I've used the internet as an online journal, if you will, for my life. And as I've evolved from, founder and entrepreneur who works all day and all night to now living a full life, I wanted to show that journey. And I think, the podcasting format allows for my voice, the tones, and just more in-depth conversations than what you're going to see on certain social media platforms. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm meeting a lot of new people, which is really fun because they actually don't have the context of the historical context. I'm learning that I need to continue to share my story, but not start from today, but start from 10 plus years ago, when it was just me and my whiteboard.
And I'm so happy that you are sharing it. I've been working in news media since I graduated college, and I've always loved Blavity, the purpose behind it, the connection. I remember when it first launched, it was the thing, and everyone was like, oh my God, right? And I think a lot of us felt drawn to it because it was founded by you, a young 20 something Black woman at the time. So hearing you sort of retrace, those steps in that journey, I think it definitely resonates. I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's fun. There's certainly like people like you and others in my community who've seen Blavity along the way, but didn't necessarily see the behind the scenes where things looked like they were amazing. And I'm like, this was really hard. And we had our own ups and downs. And, I think that's the beauty of having a community and just being able to be transparent about these things and not feeling um, the shame or the pressure of having to always look perfect, right? So I really enjoy going back in time and actually sharing the story from the original. And then also just saying, like, you can take yourself out of the rat race. You can live the life that you want to live. You can dream as big as you want to dream. Like anything is possible.
Absolutely. And speaking of being transparent, you announced on your podcast that you're pregnant. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How can career women, especially those in positions of power like yourself, really pursue their dreams while embracing motherhood or marriage or, just having a full personal life?
I think that there's no easy or right time ever to, especially as an ambitious person, to say it's time to have the baby. I had a lot of friends who got married and had kids in their early 20s, and now they are living their best lives, and I'm working on slowing down. So it's um it's a unique personal journey for every single woman or birthing person who goes through that experience. And I think for me, I felt comfortable because I've worked so hard and I have an incredible team. I have an incredible community that slowing down for a few years and passing the baton to other leaders at our company so that they can continue on the mission and vision. Now, obviously, I'm not going anywhere, but I am definitely uplifting others at the company to live the mission and lead the business. And I think that has been so freeing as a founder. A lot of founders
Yes.
with they're really stuck because they haven't passed the reins to anyone. And it can be really, really hard process, and it's a lot of work and a lot of pressure. So I feel grateful that we've been able to find that balance for us at the company, which has given me the freedom to say, okay, I'm going to bake this baby real quick, and I'm going to take my full maternity leave, as I advise every single woman at our company to do. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in like 3 to 4 months. You'll be fine.
I love it. And Morgan, I think it's so refreshing because we don't see enough of that. Again, we've been able to watch your journey in real time and seeing you evolve to getting a committed long-term relationship and now motherhood is refreshing because we've only seen one side, right? We haven't been able to see a lot of ambitious career women balance it out or really be transparent. So I'm very, very happy that you're sharing. I think a lot of young Black women are sharing stories about fertility and the many
Yeah.
issues. And it's helpful to see the other side of women saying, like, you know what, I decided to take this step. I'm ready for the next chapter. And yes, I'm still going to run my company.
Exactly. And to be able to surround yourself with people who are aligned with that mission, right? Like having partnerships with brands that are like, this is great. Having board members who are like, this is great. Keep going. Like surrounding yourself with people and brands and having a community that's really supportive, I think for me is what gave me the fuel to say, like, you don't need to wait. It's going to be okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Before we wrap up, I did also want to get some advice from you for other younger professionals who may want to follow in your same footsteps. Maybe they're looking to found a company or maybe just highly ambitious and career oriented. What advice would you give them?
Okay. So I have two big pieces of advice. One, write everything down. Like, you'd be shocked how many meetings I go into where we have a whole meeting and I'm like, who wrote it down? Like, take the notes. Your brain is processing new information, especially if you're early in your career and you have a huge learning curve, learning new things. But really, being an active listener and a note taker will help increase your ability to retain the information and recap and be a trusted source of truth and information across your company as well. So, that's one piece of advice. And the second is embrace that team collaboration and learn from across departments. So if you are working in a traditional 9 to 5, even if your role is one thing like social media, or your role is in accounting, or your role is in sales, take those coffee chats with other people, reach out and be proactive because you never know what role really is for you. I was a political science major. I am doing nothing in political science, right? I took my first internship working at a tech company my junior to senior year. I almost missed this entirely because it just wasn't a part of my day to day vocabulary, day to day experience living in St. Louis, Missouri. So try to expose yourself to new people because the world is just so big and it's a beautiful open canvas of anything you want it to be. And so it's important to just talk to people and get to know different people in your space and at your company.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I literally make a to-do list that I write out every single day of my life. It helps keep me organized. And again, like to your point, just like the psychology behind seeing something you wrote right on in paper, it makes it real. And it just to me helps manage like active listening. That is my thing. Okay. Note taking, I am like
Like,
writing it
put the
down.
phone
Yes.
down. People are like, "I'm taking notes on my phone." I'm like, "Come on, like, write it down, stay focused, let's go."
Yes. Morgan, thank you so much for your time today. Anything else that you want to leave us with?
No, thank you for your time as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.